I didn't actually fully appreciate this until fairly recently. So if you think about, we talked earlier about credit conditions and about how borrowing is just the pull forward of consumption, right? So credit is, one of the main drivers, certainly on the margin of growth. And if you look back over the last 15, 16 years, and you look at the major economies of the world, so you look at the U.S., Europe, Japan, the UK, certainly China, and you look at where the growth has come from on the credit side. From 2000 to 2008, the U.S. had just a debt-fueled rally. The U.S. borrowed about $8 trillion at the household level, and that took total credit up by about the same amount that Europe's went up by. So if you add those two together, you had something like $16 trillion in credit growth over 8 years between Europe and the U.S. And that's really what drove the global economy over that 8-year period. Since 2008, however, there's been a net reduction in non-governmental debt in Europe of around $1 trillion. The U.S. has expanded that by about $1 trillion. So essentially break even between those two giant economies, the two largest in the world. There hasn't been much growth anywhere else except for one place, and that's China. And China is really interesting because China has seen its non-governmental debt grow from around $4 trillion to $26 trillion from 2008 to 2016. That is the largest increase in debt in the history of the world in a relatively short span of time. And as a financials analyst for the better part of the last 20 years, what I've seen time and time again is that whether it's a company or a country or a household or any entity that levers up that much, that quickly, it doesn't end with a soft landing. And the point I would make is that in the first quarter, they added, this is China, added $1 trillion worth of debt in the first quarter alone. That is an unbelievable rate of credit growth. And what's interesting about it is if you go back to late 2015, first 6-7 weeks of 2016, markets were pretty much in free fall. There was a growing chorus that a recession was imminent. All the data was comporting with that. And then all of a sudden, right around mid-February, it stopped. And one of the reasons it stopped is because China started pushing credit through the system like crazy. And that reflated the commodities, which reflated the emerging markets, which caused everybody in the U.S. to start to think maybe that's not going to be the proximate cause of the next downturn. And that got the U.S. going. And the point is, you cannot keep growing credit like that. And the rate of credit growth is now actually slowing in China. And so, anyway, China is obviously an enormous systemic risk based on the amount of debt that's been added over the last 8 years. And I think is most of the reason underpinning the reflation rally that took place really from mid-February through mid-April. And since then, it's been choppy. And then people have sort of hung their hat on a few other things along the way since then, like this housing print 2 days ago. But none of this stuff is real.